Welcome back to another edition of The Angels here on MLB The Show 25. As you can see, we are here in the month of June. We're like halfway through June, and the Angels are currently sitting at 45-31 on the season, so still a pretty solid baseball team. But the AL West this season has been quite solid. As you can see, the Mariners sitting atop at 8-2 in their last 10, I should say. 45 wins on the year. We have 45 wins, but we played a couple more games, so we're actually a game behind the Mariners. And then the Rangers are 3 games back in third place. So 3 really solid teams here in the AL West this season. If you take a look at the calendar, you can see we are currently finishing up a 4-game set against Texas, where we've taken the first 3. Before that was a 2-1 series win over the Tigers in Detroit, and then before that we dropped the series to Houston in Houston, to Toronto at home, and then we took 3 out of 4 from the Kansas City Royals after splitting that 4-game set with Tampa Bay. Update on Mike Trout is that he has 3 to 4 weeks left on his current injury. Trent Grisham, though, is currently back from his. And a little update on what the lineup is going to be looking like here. I haven't messed with this too much, but you can see a lot of hot and a lot of cold. Nobody is in between. It's either you are scorching or you are absolutely terrible. That is essentially how the offense has been going for us. And you can see here we are actually playing Trent Grisham in center field. He is back. Jarred Kelenic is actually on the bench at the moment because he has just been not good for us this season. He's played 226 ABs. He has 3 home runs. He has a 212, 291, 310 slash slide for a 601 OPS, which is just completely unacceptable. And we're getting much better production out of Zach Collins in left field right now, in an obviously much smaller sample size, but he's the hot hand right now in the left field corner. And we have Dylan Carlson, who has been one of our best hitters as of recently. You can see his contact and power is going up against both sides. Honestly looking like he could be our left fielder next season, too. We've got him signed for 2 seasons, the rest of this year and next season. So right now it's looking like Dylan Carlson, once Trout comes back, is just going to be our everyday left fielder because he's just been that good for us. And we want to keep running it out there. He's been really good. And then, obviously, we're playing Grisham for his glove in center field. But as far as some of the rest of the bats go, Nolan Schanuel has continued to be our best bat. 16 home runs, 17 doubles on the season. Has not hit a home run. Maybe he has. I think he had... Did he have 16 or did he have 14 last time we checked? And I forget. But he's, around the same, still hitting very well. Zach Neto's been very hot or cold this year. His OPS is sitting at a respectable 762, but you can see currently is on a cold streak, and it has been much lower than 762, and it's also been much higher than 762 this season. Well, Logan O'Hoppe is scorching right now, folks. He's got his OPS up to 856 for us, 16 doubles, 11 home runs. He's even got an OBP up to 356, which is very, very impressive for him, because that was one of the things he struggled with last year, and just overall throughout his big league career has been getting on base consistently. And this season, it's looking like that's starting to come together for him at the catcher position. Unfortunately, Curtis Mead has not been as good as he was for us last year. A 725 OPS isn't the end of the world. I'm still confident he's going to be a good hitter for us, but right now he's not putting up quite the numbers that he was for us last season in his 238 ABs, where he had one of the best OPSs on the team at a 907. This year, 726. Need to see some improvement there. And then Luis Urias, who I was really high on entering the season, has also definitely struggled for us. Only a 310 OBP with that 84 discipline. I mean, he's got the pop, and it's really hasn't been there this season. 6 doubles, 9 home runs. We're hoping that he's going to turn it around because we have him for the rest of this season and next year. And obviously, we're not going to be looking to trade him at the deadline or anything because we're a competing team. So we're just hoping he can turn things around. I'm confident he can because his ratings are too good to be a poor hitter. Like I said, Jarred Kelenic has not been good. Trent Grisham is here for his bat, but he's been here for his glove, but his bat has just been absolutely atrocious for us. Mike Trout is obviously very good, but he's hurt. Dylan Carlson's been playing very well for us. Fontenelle has been a horrible bench bat. Brujan's actually been pretty scrappy for us. That's good to see. Isaac Collins has been good in very limited sample size, and as well as Matt Thaiss. And then our starting pitching this year has actually been pretty respectable, I would say. Caden Dana, sub-4 ERA, 4.26 FIP. George Klassen, sub-3 ERA with a 4.14 FIP. Kikuchi with a 4 ERA and a 4.6 FIP, which is definitely not as low as you would like it to be, but, respectable. Soriano's been our worst pitcher. That's pretty self-explanatory. We know all about Soriano at this point. Reed Detmers has definitely been frustrating. He has a 5 ERA, 5.5 ERA with a 4.5 FIP. So, the FIP shows that it's, probably getting a bit unlucky, but hopefully that can come down for him, is because we would expect him to be a solid pitcher for us. Gahanowitz, his ERA is looking solid, but his FIP isn't the greatest. Ryan Johnson's been pretty good for us in the bullpen. That's good to see. Sir Anthony Dominguez has been really good. So is Hobie Milner. Silvseth has been respectable. Ben Joyce has a 5 ERA, but he only has a 3.29 FIP, so he's getting really unlucky there, striking out a bunch of guys as well. Same with Angel Perdomo, high ERA, low FIP. And then Sam Bachman's just doing his thing as a guy who doesn't really get too many innings for us. And then I also just want to do a quick little check-in on Christian Moore at the AAA level, because things have not gone well for him this season, even with me adjusting his vision and plate discipline. I think I did not get it into the 40s when I did it manually, but that has gone up enough this season to where he's gotten the vision into the 40s. The discipline, I think I just upgraded to 40. I forget exactly how many I bumped it up, but I did not upgrade all of this. Some of this is him actually developing throughout the season, but even with that development and even with that boost I gave him, he is still not performing at the AAA level. It's not looking good for Christian Moore. Hopefully he can turn things around, because he's just a fun player with that type of pop, but it's not looking great at the moment. One player who has been actually pretty solid for us in AAA has been Colton Ledbetter, who is an 8.69 OPS. He has 17 doubles and 10 home runs here for the Salt Lake Bees. We picked him up from the Rays last season in the Luis Rengifo trade, and he's a player who has some pop, but he's also another one of these guys who doesn't have the greatest vision and discipline. We're definitely going to need that to develop, and this is another one of these players on MLB The Show who, in the game, is not as intriguing as he is in real life, where in real life he's actually pretty damn intriguing. Second-round pick in 2023. In this, he's performing in AAA, but is this going to perform in the major leagues? Probably not. So if this guy is ever going to make it to the big leagues, it's going to be relying on the fact that he has just a massive, massive, massive improvement to some of this stuff in the next couple seasons. Or maybe I start manually adjusting some stuff for people, because there's just, I don't know, one of the things that frustrates me about this game is you can have a guy put up numbers like this in AAA for 3 straight seasons, and his numbers just basically, his attributes stay around the same, and he's still just completely unusable. The Angels here at home playing against a division foe in the Texas Rangers, and we have 2 young quality pitchers on the bump in George Klassen and Kumar Rocker. We'll start things off with Klassen in the top of the first with Wyatt Langford ground ball up the middle. Diving play by Zach Neto, flashing the leather, quick 1 out there, but then things start to unravel early. Evan Carter spits on ball 4, he'll draw a walk, and then Jock Peterson at the plate. Evan Carter goes and swipes second base, gets himself into scoring position, and then Jock Peterson says, I don't need you to be over there. Does something that we've seen a lot on this channel. Jock Peterson, first inning home run, 2-run blast, and the Rangers are up 2-0 here early on in this game. But the Angels bats trying to even it back up here as Sean Noel's going to draw a leadoff walk for the Halos. Then it brings up Lamont Wade, takes a hanging sinker over the left field wall on a hop, and the automatic ground roll double makes it so Sean Noel can't score, and that's going to be big. Curtis Meade comes up, pulls on an inside sinker, pops it up for 1 out. Then it brings up O'Hoppe. He flares one out to right field. That'll be 2 down. And then after that, it's Dylan Carlson up at the dish, and he proceeds to whiff through strike 3. So the Angels strand 2 in scoring position, even though they had them both there with nobody out. And then in the bottom of the second, with 2 outs, Zach Neto keeping the inning alive by pounding one up against that right center field wall. His fleet feet will have him into second base, and he's in scoring position. But then unfortunately, Grisham goes down swinging. So still nothing going for the Angels. Bottom 3 now. Sean Noel hits the piss out of one, but right at Garcia in right field. Then it brings up Lamont Wade. Middle fastball, somehow pop it up into the infield, even with good timing. And then we're on to the top of the fourth, checking back in with Klassen, who's just been kind of tiptoeing around danger for most of this game so far, but somehow getting out of it. But then here in the fourth, that does not last, as he gives up that single to Garcia, and then Marcus Semien launches one down the tunnel in left field, and that's another 2-run shot here for the Rangers, as it's a 4-0 lead for Texas. And then Jonah Heim just gets a ball that goes nowhere near where I was aiming, and at that point I just got so frustrated that I was just like, you know what, I've had enough. So the final score in this one ends up being like 8-2 or something like that. I don't know. I quick managed the rest of it because it was just that frustrating. You may have noticed that I actually switched back mid-game to Hall of Fame difficulty pitching with the classic setting because I was just even struggling with the meter on Legend, even though it's been solid overall for me. But this game in particular was just, I don't know, something about it where it was just a 9-2 was your final, but something about it just did not go well. And we were messing with things mid-game. You know, that's the true sign of things are not going well for you, when you're messing with, like, input settings mid-game. Alrighty, folks, as you can see, it is time here for the 2026 first-year player draft. Number 3 overall is ours. Let's get into it. Just a quick little preview here of what we're thinking. We have the 3rd overall pick, the 41st overall pick in the 2nd round. And as you can see here, our draft rank is actually this guy 1st overall, but I personally don't agree with that. I think it's being juiced based on what his defense is at first base, which I don't give a shit about. Instead, I think that this guy is the best hitter. I would want this guy. Personally, if this guy falls to us, he's projected to go number 1. But if he does not go number 1 and he falls, he's projected to go 1 by MLB. He's 2 for us. So I doubt he falls, but if he does, I would love this guy. And then you can see the 3rd for the MLB draft ranking and ours is this pitcher. You know, sure, looks really good. We have enough pitchers. I want this guy. Reggie Coffey, draft rank 4, or draft rank 5, our draft rank 4. We have the 3rd overall pick. This guy should be here, and he looks really damn good. I mean, look at that bat. Look at that bat, folks. I think he's really good. This is the guy we prefer. If he's there, we're taking him. Obviously, if Casto somehow falls to us, we probably take him, but Reggie Coffey, I think, is number 1 on our board based on if we think he's going to be there. One guy worth mentioning is this catcher, Tim Carrara. He looks like he's really good. A seriously powerful hitting catcher with really good defense as well out of Cuba. Our draft rank is 40 on him, even though I think that he's much better than 40. I don't know why our scouts think he's 40, but the MLB draft rank is 11, so I would have to imagine that he doesn't fall to 41, but if he does, we might be interested in a guy like that at 41. And we are starting things up here. The 2026 first-year player draft. Number 1 on the board is the Detroit Tigers, then the Houston Astros, and then us at number 3 overall. So let's get into it. Number 1 overall is Guillermo Minoso. So they take the first baseman, 1-1. Not the first time the Tigers have done that in their history, in recent history, taking Spencer Torkelson 1-1 a few years back. And now here, number 2 overall, it is Grant McMillan. Okay, so now we have a decision on our hands. So he goes 2, and now we have our option of Ramon Casto, who was projected 1 MLB rank, 2 draft rank by us, probably because he's very good defensively as well as offensively. Although the offense does look like it's going to be lacking behind the defense. It looks like he could have elite speed with really, really good defensive attributes, but he's never really going to be that great of a hitter, it doesn't appear. Especially to start off, it looks like it's going to be mainly pop, with like not much vision or discipline to start, but he's going to have insanely high potential, while Reggie Coffey, you know, probably a left fielder because his arm isn't strong, doesn't have the speed, but I mean, the glove is going to be plenty fine enough, and the bat looks like it could be generational. So even though the draft rank for the overall and for us has this guy lower than Ramon Castro, I think that Reggie Coffey's the guy out of Venezuela here. I think he's the guy. Call me crazy, I just think he's the guy. So, you know, we've got some other guys on the board here that we're hoping are there in round 2, but we're just going to go Reggie Coffey. It's a gut feeling. We're going to go with him. Reggie Coffey's our guy, number 3 overall. Hell yeah, welcome to the organization, brother. So Castro's still on the board at 5. 4, it's still on the board. 4 was Leo Pena, 5 was Bronson Connor. The guy who was projected to go 1 by MLB and 2 by us. Still on the board, Cliff Zimbrowski. That was a guy who I recognized because he was projected to go like 40th. And the Nationals taking him. I didn't have him very highly scouted, so I don't really know 100% what he was. Johnny Hampton, he was a good-looking prospect going to the White Sox. And Ramon Castro, still on the board. I think teams are seeing what I'm seeing. They're seeing that this guy's mainly all glove, not a lot of bat. And they're straying away from him. He's fallen all the way down the board here. He's still on there at 9. Still not in our division there with Texas. All right, folks, we're a little bit later here in the first round. You can see that Ramon Castro ended up going 23rd overall to the Tampa Bay Rays. We're coming up to our pick here, and there are some dudes on the board that I just did not envision was going to be there, so I just never even bothered scouting, like this Brian Shipley guy who looks like he could have some seriously good power potential with some really good arm strength on the hot corner as well, but we don't have him scouted, so we don't know exactly how accurate that is. But it might still be worth taking a swing because we need bats. There's Shipley, there's this McGinnis guy, there's this first baseman who looks like he could be a generational bat. We don't care about the defense for first baseman, obviously. I mean, we could go with somebody who we have fully scouted, somebody like, not fully, but like, we know this guy is projected 17th by our scouts. This guy, we have him scouted as a pitcher, but there's a lot of pitchers in this draft, so I'm thinking we gotta go with one of these bats. Shipley with the power is looking mighty intriguing. Really switch hitter as well out of Tennessee. Mark McGinnis, he looks pretty damn good too. Out of Ohio. Pretty solid, yeah, pretty solid. But, I mean, this guy's bat is very, very intriguing to me. This catcher, I don't believe that other catcher that we were talking about, Carrera, yeah, he got taken. So, I mean, I'm either leaning Shipley or Manuel right now. And I think Manuel even... I mean, Shipley's got the glove, and it's, you know, it looks like the contact could still be really good, but the power is going to be, like, generational. If, once again, this is, who knows how accurate these are. These could be, like, totally off, and we could just be taking a bust here. But, I mean, I think we have to take the risk with the bat here, because we don't really have any of these bats scouted, and there's just so many arms you could take late in the draft in this that I've learned after one of these drafts. This guy's not that intriguing. I mean, it's gotta be Manuel or Shipley. Angelo, whatever, I guess Manuel, whatever. Manuel, first baseman, generational bat potential perhaps, if this is even remotely accurate. Or there's Brian Shipley who has the pop and the really strong arm, really good speed too. I mean, that bat, dude. That bat is so intriguing. I think we gotta take him. I think we gotta take Manuel here. We're taking him. Boom, that's our second round pick. Angelo Manuel out of Venezuela. He was also Venezuela, wasn't he? So that's 2 Venezuelans we've taken, 1-2. And now we're here in round 3. We've got somebody who's projected to go 45 here. I mean, this might be our guy, John Burgess. We only have 50 seconds, so we got to do this quickly. This guy looks intriguing. Enriquez. He's more of like a C potential guy, whereas Burgess or Robinson look like they could be A potentials. Robinson's a lefty, which is definitely intriguing. Looks like his walk per nines are going to be an issue, though. We're taking Burgess. John Burgess, he's our guy, round 3. 71 to 96 potential. We've got him halfway scouted. He's our 3rd round pick. Once again, ignore the appearances on these prospects. I will be editing them so they look not, like MLB The Show generated players. Alrighty, so round 4, we made our selection. Matt Humphries, pick 110. He is a right-handed pitcher. As you can see, we had him full 100% scouted. He was projected to go 112. We got him 110. At least by our scouts, he was projected to 112. By MLB draft, he was projected to go undrafted, but we had him fully scouted to 89, 99 potential. Obviously going to be a bit of a project starting out at 42 to 52 overall, but when your potential is that high in this game, you can develop quite fast. So Matt Humphries, we're hoping he can develop throughout our system, and maybe 3-4 years down the line, he's looking like a stud for us. Here in round 5, we're taking another one of these guys who could possibly be a high potential riser through the system. He's going to start off as a low overall, but could possibly raise. We only have him 40% scattered, so it's not the 100% that the previous guy was. But this guy's an outfielder. Felt like we needed to add another bat to the team here. So Anthony Bush, pick 140. He's our pick here in round 5. And here in round 6, we have taken George Henriquez here. Enriquez, he was out of, I don't know what country, but international pitcher. He was projected no draft, not undrafted by MLB, and then 60th by our staff. He was on the board for the past 2 rounds, and I was like, we might take this guy, but I wanted to take a risk on that bat with the possible high potential. And then luckily Enriquez was still here in the 6th round as a guy who we know is going to be like one of those good C potential starters that you can just like rely on. Not going to have the highest potential, obviously, but a pretty high floor. So a quick roundup of the draft here. Round 1, we took Reggie Coffey, number 3 overall. Minoso went number 1. McMillan went number 2. Let's just see who went in our division here. So James Canning goes to Texas. The A's take starting pitcher Sal Clay, who was projected to go 20th, fell to 22nd. We had him ranked 9th. And then David Carvalho, something like that. We had him ranked 12th, MLB draft 30, went 24th to Seattle. So we just did the draft. You know what that means? That we are here at the MLB All-Star break, the halfway point in the season. Not officially, but the halfway point of the season, basically, here in Major League Baseball. As you can see, we are sitting at 53 and 45, which, let me just show you real quickly. I mean, we lose the series to Tampa Bay, we sweep Nationals, we get swept by the Padres, and then end of June was a disaster. We lose this series to Cleveland, lose the series to Boston, get swept by the Yankees, and then we get swept by the Padres, and then luckily we rebounded with this to like keep it manageable here. But then we lose the series to Tampa Bay heading into the break. And as you can see here, we have really fallen down the list of teams here in the American League West. The Mariners currently sitting atop the division, the Rangers behind them at 2.5 games back, and then we are all the way down here at 4.5 games back, so still within striking distance, but no longer looking that great. You can see our ratings, we're 25th in the team rankings. When it comes to the wild card, we are just outside that wild card spot. Or no, let me see. Oh no, so the Orioles and Blue Jays are actually tied for the first place spot in the American League East. They just have different records, but they are tied for that top spot in the AL East. So we actually are currently sitting in that third wildcard spot because Orioles Blue Jays is the same spot, and then the Rangers are the second wildcard spot, and then we are currently there. So we're still in the mix of the playoffs, still in the thick of things, and we are going to be trying to make the playoffs, obviously, but things are not looking as good as they once were. And then as you can see here, the All-Star team, the starters around the American League. We do not have Logan O'Hoppe starting at catcher this season, or obviously Mike Trout. He might have made the team, but he didn't start. He didn't start last year either. But Nolan Schanuel was the starting first baseman, so that is good to see. Getting some respect around the league, even though he's not a first baseman. That actually could have been the starting DH, but if we go to All-Star voting here, was he the starting DH? Starters, Jeffrey Springs, Cody Bradford makes the team. Reliever, Angel Zerpa. Closers, obviously Ben Joyce does not make it. Catcher O'Hoppe does not make the team at all. First, yeah, so he makes it at first base even though he's not... Do they even have a DH? They do. They do have a DH spot. So he makes it as first base and DH. He's the highest vote getter. I don't understand how that makes sense. How do you implement this in your game? I mean, it's dumb. It's dumb. But Shawnuel does indeed make the All-Star team. You know, I've talked about how the Hall of Fame in baseball in general is something that I don't give a shit about. The All-Star game in MLB The Show, I mean, talk about things that do not matter whatsoever. But then here, just a quick roundup of how our team has been doing here through one half of the season. As we know, Nolan Shawnuel has been our best hitter. He's been healthy the whole time, 402 ABs, 20 doubles, 19 home runs for our DH. Zach Neto has been a respectable 765 OPS, I should say. Logan O'Hoppe has got his OPS above 800, as well as his OBP into a very, very respectable 342. I mean, within the same range as Wade and Shawnuel there. So, really solid from Logan O'Hoppe. Love to see that. And then Lamont Wade, he's been fantastic. 847 OPS, 358 OBP, 22 doubles, 16 home runs. Curtis Mead, unfortunately, was a big disappointment and is currently out for a long-term fractured leg. So we currently do not have him on the big league team. We will get into his replacement here soon as we scroll through these names. Luis Arias, you can see I've shifted him to third base. He is playing third base for us now that Curtis Mead is on the IL. That was the initial intention before we signed Wade, was for Urias to play third and Moore to play second base, but now we have Urias playing third, and then I just gave it away there. Christian Moore, even though he was struggling in AAA, is currently up in the big leagues for us playing second base. We will get into that in a little bit here. Trent Grisham is back from his injury, as we know, not performing well at the plate. Dylan Carlson is, though, performing very, very well. 862 OPS for him. Keep it up. Fantastic stuff. Mike Trout also back from his injury, and he's just immediately back to smoking the ball. 964 OPS, 15 doubles, 15 home runs. Hell yes. Please don't get hurt again. Isaac Collins sticking around on the team here because he's been performing well enough to the point where he's actually playing center field for us right now. He is our center fielder over Trent Grisham, because Trent Grisham has just been performing that poorly for us at the plate, that Isaac Collins has the ratings to handle center field. I might even just make his primary position center field so he doesn't get docked even more off this. But he's been a surprise for us this season, so he's going to keep rocking in center field. We sent down Jared Kelenic because he was so disappointing. He's in AAA at the moment. Cole Fontenelle, another guy who has been disappointing. Vidal Brujan's been solid off the bench. Same with Matt Thaiss. And then you can see here, only 11 ABs, but he has been 364 average in the major leagues here, but not slugging as well. But it's only 11 ABs, obviously. And then on the pitching side of things, sorted by innings. Once again, a lot of decent ERAs, but not as impressive FIPs. George Klassen got rocked in that last start we saw, but his ERA is still below 4. Caden Dana's ERA is now above 4. Kikuchi's starting to get rocked around. He's got an ERA at 4.9, a FIP at 5. Soriano continues to not be the best. Reed Detmers is currently hurt. He has a pulled hamstring. He's only missed a couple starts. He'll be back pretty soon here. But while he was out, Jack Kahanowitz was moved to the rotation. Ryan Johnson continues to be a very good reliever for us. Same with Hobie Milner. Chase Silseth has been not great as of recently. Sir Anthony Dominguez, though, has been very good. Ben Joyce's ERA continues to go up, while his FIP continues to be a respectable sub-4. Perdomo continues to have a high ERA and a respectable FIP, although 3.9 starting to get a little bit up there. Sam Bachman's actually been really good. He's in the middle relief role now that Kahanowitz is in the rotation. And then we also called up Connor Brogdon from AAA once Detmers got hurt, so Brogdon's in our bullpen now that Kahanowitz is in the rotation. And then Nolan Shawnuel. More Nolan Shawnuel news. He continues to be very good, leading the American League in hits above Aaron Judge, Bichette, Bobby Witt, Brent Rooker. A lot of big names on this list, and Nolan Shawnuel is atop it. And then it has a top 10 OBP in baseball as well, leading off in our lineup. Like I mentioned, Jared Kelenic is currently in AAA Salt Lake. He has just been that disappointing for us at the big league level this season. 239 ABs, 13 doubles, 3 home runs, a slash line of 222, 298, 322. Just dreadful. Just completely unacceptable for a guy who's going to be on the strong side of a platoon. So we sent him down, and Dylan Carlson is now the everyday left fielder. Like I said, he's been fantastic in that role. he has won that job, and Jared Kelnick is now down in AAA. Looking like his career is trajecting downwards. And then speaking of former top prospects in AAA for us, Hunter Bishop is somebody that we signed here this offseason as just a random player to have in this AAA system for us. And you can see he's currently on fire. He got off to a slow start, but he's been tearing the cover off the ball recently. This OPS used to be below 700. It's now 768. And his ratings are getting to the point where it's like, okay, Hunter Bishop here, maybe a candidate to come up to the big leagues as like a late career resurgence sort of player here. He was a first-round pick for the Giants out of Arizona State in 2019. Never really panned out, but now here in his second organization, starting to look like maybe things are going to possibly trend upwards for him. And, you know, if we need outfield help at some point, Hunter Bishop could be the possible option for us up in the big leagues. And then just a quick little trade deadline preview here. Not going to get too in-depth on this, but I just threw a couple names on there as ideas, as guys we could possibly use as trade bait. Probably the most valuable one is Trey Gregory Alford here, who is one of our many good pitching prospects. He is a B potential 19-year-old. He was a 14th round pick in 2021. That seems insane, but B potential, looking really good. But the thing is, we have just so many. We have so many good pitching prospects. We have a pretty young staff as it is right now with Dana and Klassen as like our two super young guys. Detmers is still in his mid-20s. Kahanowitz we like. Silseth is probably a guy we like less than Kahanowitz. We've got some guys coming up the system like Rivera. Mitchell from Canada, who we picked in last year's draft. Volek is a high potential. Same with Franco from last year's draft. So a lot of guys coming up the system here. So Silseth, you know, we could look to possibly package in a deal. I don't want really to trade him, but like if we could trade him for like something like trade from a strength to possibly bolster a different port on the team, that could be an option for us. Same with Kyron Paris, who I just really don't think is going to have a spot on our team at any point. And then Gregory Alford as like a prospect to dangle to somebody who is in a rebuilding situation. And you can see we're seeking pitching. That's pretty obvious. Our pitching has been not great this year. If we could get like a possible maybe an expiring contract starter, or maybe a starter with like 1 or 2 years of team control, I would be interested in possibly picking up something like that. Maybe an expiring reliever to bolster our bullpen down the stretch. And then second base and center field as just somebody who can maybe Christian Moore at second base isn't the way we want to go long term here. It's not long term, but like the rest of the season. So we could possibly look to the second base to have a spot for us to improve at the deadline, as well as center field, because who knows really how long Isaac Collins is going to be the guy in center field for us. How about a little rematch here? It's Rangers-Angels once again, Kumar Rocker versus George Klassen, but this time we are at Globe Life Field. So we're going to start things off with Rocker on the bump, and Nolan Schanuel leading things off for the Halos, going off that left center field wall. That's going to be a leadoff two-bagger as he gets himself in a scoring position, but can the Angels drive him in? Mike Trout comes up, pitch from Rocker gets past Heim, up against the backstop, allows Schanuel to move up into third base. Nobody out, runner on third, Mike Trout charges one into right center field. On the hanging changeup, somehow dies at the wall, but that's a different story. As he does get the run in, makes it a 1-0 Angels lead. Move things on bottom one. The early lead is no more. Corey Seager punishes one into the left center field, or left field seats. 1-1 ball game, it is all knotted up. And then Jock Peterson comes up in the first inning, puts a charge into one to left center field. Carlson ranging back at the track at the wall, puts it away. Deep breath, move things on top two. Zach Neto spits on ball four. He'll draw himself a base on balls there, and then the hit and run is on with Dylan Carlson, ground ball first base. Neto avoids the double play there because he was running, but it doesn't matter anyways because Christian Moore comes up and proceeds to absolutely pulverize a pitch into the left center field bullpen there. 434, adios pelota. A big fly there for Christian Moore, the former Tennessee Volunteer. Makes it a 3-1 Angels lead, and then in the bottom of the second, Klassen works a 4-6-3 double play there for the first 2 outs of the inning. And then he would proceed to work a clean inning as Marcus Semien gets a single here, but for some reason is like, you know what, I want 2. And he's just thrown out by multiple steps. No chance. So clean inning, move things on to the bottom of the third. Another clean inning. Tavares ground ball, nice spin throw by Zach Neto. 1-2-3 inning. Move things on to the fourth. Another 1-2-3 frame for Klassen as he would get Peterson to ground out there. Move things on top 5. Check things back in with the Halos bats as Isaac Collins has shown off that good plate discipline that he has, spitting on ball 4. And then with 1 out, Mike Trout goes out the right center field again. This time, it's enough to get over the wall into the right field bullpen as it's now another 2-run blast in this game, a 5-1 Angels lead. We now move things on bottom 5. 2 on, Klassen in a bit of trouble here, nobody on, but he strikes at Semien and then proceeds to get Heim to ground into a 6-4-3 double play as he works out of trouble. Still a 5-1 ball game. No longer. Walter Pennington came on, gives the Arias the big hanging slow curve, and you hang him, he bangs him. Solo shot 6-1 as the power surge continues here for the Angels, and they weren't done there. Christian Moore with a perfect line drive home run into the Rangers bullpen. It's now a 7-1 game, thanks to Christian Moore's second big fly of the day. Move things on bottom 6, so a 6-run lead, 1 out, walk, it's all good. Ground ball gets you out of it. Evan Carter comes up, works a soft ground ball, but gets through the infield. So now it's 2 on, 1 out. Another ground ball gets through the infield. Everybody moves up a station. It's bases juiced here. 1 out for the Rangers. Brings up Peterson. Gets 1 through the infield. Finds some outfield grass. That'll score a run, but still 5-run lead here for the Angels. Then it brings up Jake Berger. Somehow Isaac Collins doesn't get to this one. That's going to score a run. It's now a 7-3 game. And then Klassen would come out of the game. The Dallas Baptist man comes out of the bullpen in Ryan Johnson. And he would proceed to have a 2-0 count to Marcus Semien, who tattoos one over the head of Collins in center field. And that's going to clear the bases. And all of a sudden, it is a 1-run ball game here at Globe Life Field. So we're on to the top of the 7th here. It is 7-6. Landon Knack coming out of the bullpen here for the Rangers. And with 2 outs, the Angels trying to tack on some more runs here. Logan O'Hoppe, single up the middle. Then it brings up Neto. He spits on ball 4, first and second here for the Halos, and Dylan Carlson turning into a bit of an Angels legend here in 2 different universes as he tattoos one off that right field wall. Bases clearing double for him. 2 runs come in. It's a 9-6 lead now for the Angels, and that would take them to the 9th where Ben Joyce comes on looking for the save, and with 1 out, a hundo up and in on Marcus Semien gets him to go down swinging, and then Jonah Heim has the same fate. Triple digits on the radar gun, blows it right by him, whiffing through as he slams the door in front of the Rangers' faces. As it's now a 9-6 final score as the Angels win this one here over the Rangers in the Klassen Rocker duel. And the Bats have woken up here for the Halos. They've been waiting for that. A lot of stranded runners as of recently here for the Halos, but not today as they score 9 runs on the day with multiple home runs. Christian Moore was your player of the game. He was 2 for 4 with 2 big flies. Trout and Arias both homered. Shawnuel was 2 for 5 with a double. Carlson had that 2-run double in the 7th to really seal the deal. And then Klassen was solid aside from that disaster inning in the 6th. He only gave up 1 run through those first 5, but then gets 6 earned runs total, 5 of them in that 6th inning, through 5 1/3 innings pitched. Only 2 Ks, but only 1 walk on the day. Not a big strikeout guy on the day, but does get the win nonetheless as Kumar Rocker gets the loss. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Angels here on MLB The Show 25. I've been your host, JerseyBorn, and I'm saying MotorTown is a video game that understands at its core the most noble profession you can possibly have is Garbage Man.